Good Thursday morning, everyone, and it's 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's ready to talk about baseball time on Arnie's Fantasy World of Sports. I'm filling in this morning for Lenny. You know, he's away, staying in hotel rooms. You know, what a life to live. But I'm really happy to be with you this morning. A lot of baseball action last night, a couple of sweeps to talk about. And let's jump right in with one of those. You know, coming into Monday, the Yankees were leading the Rays by a half game in the American League East. And then the Rays come into New York to see if they can, you know, gain ground or take the lead. Well, not happening. The Yankees win yesterday 12-1 over the Rays. CC Sabathia earns his 250th career win. Yeah, let's hear it for CC and that big win yesterday.
Just another win for us this week. Very good team. So, we wanted to keep it rolling today. I was able to come out and, get us a win. But the guys swung the bats early, played some great defense. Gary called a great game, and we were able to get the sweep. It's crazy, to put my name up there with some of those guys that I idolize, and some of those names that are like, enshrined in baseball history, and to be a part of that, it's a big deal. It's fun to have those numbers, I guess. I mean, it means a lot. And, I was talking to Sweeney, I think last year, and, just to have somebody mention your career as being a Hall of Fame career means a lot. So, I've been blessed to, play on some great teams, just being around some great organizations, some great players, and, a lot of it just rubbed off. So, it feels good to have those numbers again. Having my kids be old enough to, really recognize and know what's going on and, what I'm trying to do means a lot. Obviously, having kids so young was hard, but having them around now and being able to enjoy these special moments means a lot.
That's CC Sabathia talking about his 250th career win. CC is he Hall of Fame? I think you got to look at his stats and the fact that he's won a World Series championship. I think he is. I think if Mike Mussina goes into the Hall of Fame, that CC Sabathia does. And I tell you another thing, going forward, pitchers who win 300 career games, and that's probably a dinosaur going forward. Nowadays, fantasy reality, it's not so much what a starting pitcher can give you win-wise. You want your innings, you want your quality starts. That's the way the game is played these days. CC, what a great game, what a great career. Big win yesterday for the Yankees as they beat the Rays 12-1. Let's look at the box score from yesterday. Let's talk about some Rays. They only had 3 hits. Really, the only hitter that had any impressive stats yesterday was Tommy Pham. He went 2 for 4. He's now at 301 on the year. Austin Meadows, he was really, really hot for a while, but he's cooled off of late. I remember looking at his box scores, a couple of weeks ago, and he was around 340, 350 average-wise. He's now down to 308. He went 0 for 4 yesterday with a strikeout. Brandon Lau, hitless in the series. Lau came into the Yankee series with a 295 average on the season. He leaves the Bronx batting 280. He went 0 for 4 yesterday as well. Just not a good day for Rays hitters at all, but a worse day for Blake Snell. How many of you guys are disappointed with Blake Snell? Yeah, I'm one of those. He only pitched a third of an inning yesterday against the Yankees, gave up a home run, 2 hits, 4 walks, and the 4 walks probably concern me as much as anything, and he gave up 6 earned runs. His ERA now for the season sits at 4.40. He's 4-6. This is the kid who won the American League Cy Young Award last year. Doesn't look like he's going to win it this year. For the Yankees, who's been more instrumental in the Yankees' success this year than DJ LeMahieu? I mean, at 2 for 4 yesterday. He continues to hit in the clutch, 2 RBIs. He walked once. He scored 2 runs. He's hitting .315 on the season. And, of course, there's Gary Sanchez. Sanchez hits his 21st home run yesterday in the first inning off Blake Snell, and it sounded something like this.
3-1. Driven to right field. There it goes! See ya! In opposite field, 3-run home run for Sanchez. And the Yankees are up 3-0.
I'll tell you what, after winning the first two games in Game 3, a 3-run homer right off the bat. Sanchez, tremendous at bat. Let him dig himself a hole, look for a ball away, and just shooting to right field.
You know, when you drafted players this year, Gary Sanchez probably was not the first catcher drafted. He had a horrendous 2018. He's having a marvelous 2019. 2 for 4 RBIs. He's now hitting 266 on the season. Edwin Encarnacion, 1 for 4 yesterday. The night before he hit his first home run as a Yankee. Gleyber Torres, 1 for 3 with 4 RBIs. Gleyber hits his 16th home run yesterday. The Yankees crushed the Jays 12-1. They now have a 3.5 game lead in the division over the Tampa Bay Rays. And what a weekend it was. What a week to start the week, rather, it was for the New York Yankees. Now, there's another sweep, a 3-game sweep. And who saw this one coming? Houston goes to Cincinnati, Great American Ballpark, to take on the Reds. The Reds had won the first 2 games of the series coming into yesterday. It's tied at 2 as we go to the 9th. And as soon as in to pitch for the Astros, you know, he's one of the top closers in the game, right? Jesse Winker's at the plate.
2 hits and a walk in a game, a chance to be the hero. Senzel ties the game with 2 outs in the 9th, and a ground ball back up to the middle, and the Reds win! The Reds win! The Reds are going to win the game and sweep the Astros!
Big hit for Jesse Winker. He went 3 for 4 yesterday, and Winker had been struggling. He's now hitting 251 on the season. For fantasy purposes, and here's a point of discussion, the Reds, I've told you guys for a few weeks now, the Reds are going to get better. They've just swept the Astros. It doesn't get much better than that. We're going to talk about the standings in a few minutes. But Winker, who'd been struggling, is now up to 251, batting second in that order. Now, my only concern about Jesse Winker is in just a few days, Scooter Gennett will be coming back to the Reds, probably sometime next week. He's going to be playing second base. I think what that does, it doesn't squeeze Jesse Winker. I think it squeezes Derek Dietrich, who went 0 for 3 yesterday, has seen his average go down to 230. But the Reds, Senzel, 1 for 4 yesterday. Puig hit his 14th home run off Garrett Cole. Puig went 2 for 4. Puig's heating up. The warm weather's coming. And some players just perform better when the weather is warm. And Yasiel Puig, well, he's one of those, okay? For fantasy purposes, Puig, you got to be looking at him. You got to be thinking, you know, this is a player. Jesse Winker, Scooter Gennett, Nick Senzel. And what about Jose Peraza? And we talk about Peraza. We complain about Peraza. He's heating up a little bit too. I think I talked about him on Monday. He went 2 for 4 yesterday. The Reds struck for 11 hits against Astro pitching. Now, for the Astros, Bregman 1 for 4 out of the leadoff spot. Michael Brantley still hot, 3 for 4, 2 RBIs. He scored a run. I really like Michael Brantley. I traded for him in a fantasy league early in the season. I offered Lorenzo Cain. I received Michael Brantley. I feel really good about that trade. I love the Astros, but that was it hitting-wise. They only had 7 hits, 4 of them the top 2 spots. Brantley drives in the only 2 runs. Now, we'll say that Tyler White is heating up a little bit. He was 1 for 3 yesterday as a 237 average, playing first base. The Astros go to New York, play the Yankees 4 starting today. Big games for both teams. You got the Yankees winners of 3 in a row sweeping the Rays. You got the Astros losing 3 in a row, being swept by the Reds. Garrett Cole pitched admirably yesterday. 6 innings, only 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts. Harris got his 11th hold, Presley his 19th hold, but Osuna picks up the loss and his third blown save. He pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned, 2 runs, struck out 2. It did mark yesterday the return to the lineup of Jose Altuve. Altuve did only go 0 for 4, but he's back in the lineup. He's hitting .236 on the season, and I think I'm looking for Altuve to heat it up going forward really quick. In Washington yesterday, speaking of sweeps, the Washington Nationals win 2 from the Phillies. They win the first game 6-2. Corbin improves to 6-5, defeating Zach Eflin. They win the nightcap 2-0. Max Scherzer, broken nose and all. And Doolittle gets his 15th save. That first game, Patrick Corbin, wow, what a game he pitched. He went 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 8 strikeouts. Corbin's been struggling some of late, but not yesterday. Hitting-wise in the first game, Juan Soto, 2 for 3. He now has his average after game 1 up to .294. Brian Dozier homered in game 1, his 11th of the year. Parra homered in game 1. Playing center field in place of Robles. It looks like he may have a little bit of platoon going on there. If you are a Robles owner, remember, Parra would be the strong side of that should they employ some type of platoon. I've noticed in box scores and lineups recently, Parra is getting more time. For the Phillies in game 1, Scott Kingery continues his hot hitting. After game 1, his average was up to .349. He was 2 for 4 with a homer. A great ad in fantasy. Kingery, multiple positional eligibility. And what's not to like about that? Washington wins game 1 6-2. Now in game 2, you know, the thing about Max Scherzer. I'm getting my names wrong. Max Scherzer. He was taking batting practice over the week, Monday. He breaks his nose. He comes back, pitches yesterday, says, I'm going to pitch 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. Scherzer threw 117 pitches, 76 for strikes. And he looked sharp doing it, telling you. In the game, only 2 runs scored. We talked just a moment ago about game 1 and Brian Dozier homering in game 1. Well, what could Dozier do in game 2?
Dozier to left. If it's fair, it's out of here. See you later. Nationals' first hit, and he can touch them all. It's 1-0.
So Dozier hits his 2nd home run of the day. He hits a homer in game 1. He hits a homer in game 2. I ask you, fantasy players, is Brian Dozier available in your leagues? Because when Dozier gets hot, and usually in the summer, it's been his history to get hot during the summer. Dozier, I think I'm adding him. He's available in a lot of leagues. He's 2 homers in 2 games against right-handed pitching. It was Jake Arrieta that he hit home run off of yesterday in game 2. So look for Brian Dozier in your leagues. See if he's available. And I just mentioned there may be a platoon going on. Well, Robles doesn't want that.
That one goes pretty deep off the bat of Robles. See you later. 10th of the year. And the Nats have doubled their lead here in the 8th.
Robles hits that bomb off of Pat Neshek, and in the 8th inning, it was 1-0. That made it 2-0. That's the final score. The Nats only managed 4 hits. The Phillies only managed 4 hits off of Scherzer. The Washington bullpen finally shut down. Suero comes in, pitches the 8th, strikes out 2. Doolittle comes in the 9th. Perfect 9th inning, gets his 15th save.